Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Nitrostorm here, welcome back to RevivedWitch. So, the Ella rerun has recently ended and they gave us this awakening summon with Metamorphoses. This is the second half essentially within the awakening reruns. And so we're going to be taking a quick look at Metamorphoses obviously and see how she fares nowadays. And we'll also be taking a look at her UE, which is also a rerun because this was released a while back as well. In any case, we'll get right into it. So, as per usual, when we take a look at these characters, their skills, their active skills, and their passive skill are maxed out at level 5 active and level 2 passive. So, she is a Saltstone Compeller, so Compellers are normally support types. In any case, her first skill is called Borrow. So in order to understand this skill, if you don't have her, is you start off with a mask, and it's a random mask between Rage, which is red, Joy, which is yellow, and Sorrow, which is a blue mask. You'll start with one of them at random, as you see here. After joining in combat, Borrow will be automatically triggered once. And so now that we've got that basis, you can also take a look at my Metamorphoses review, my initial review. I'll put it in the pinned comment and description if you want a deeper dive into it. In any case, when you activate this skill, her first skill called Borrow, which costs 2 order to use, it will change the mask and heals all allies for 200% of Metamorphosis attack, and then applying different buffs based on the mask's switch tune. When you're changing masks, the buff to the previous mask will still last for 5 seconds. So it will rotate in a, I think in an anti-clockwise formation. It will always rotate the same order between Rage, Joy, and Sorrow. As I've mentioned, the video guide will go into that further. But in any case, you'll keep spamming this and you'll rotate between these 3, the more important ones being Rage and Joy. Her second skill is called Emotion Surge, and it costs 4 chaos to use, and what it does is that it deals physical damage equal to 400% of attack to all enemies, increases the effect of Borrow by 100% for 5 seconds, meaning doubling the effectiveness of whatever buff is currently active for 5 seconds, and then increases all allies' damage or healing effect of their own next active skill by 100%. So if it's a healing or if it's a damage skill, the effectiveness of that will be increased by 100%, aka doubling the damage or doubling the healing of their next active skill used. And this applies a separate stack for each doll, so everyone gets 1 boosted skill of their own. Last but not least, her passive is called Soul Collection. And what it does is for every 20 seconds, she will increase her own attack by 40% for 10 seconds, which is, it's pretty decent. It's alright. It's just like a free buff. Every 20 seconds is it's okay. It's basically a 10% downtime on her passive, which is okay. Now, just for a quick analysis into it, her skill set is pretty nice. Rotates between increasing attack, increasing damage dealt, and decreasing damage taken. And the Emotion Surge, a second skill, will boost everyone's skill effectiveness, where it be damage or healing. However, nowadays she's not really being used much when it comes to end game content like Path Not Taken. Perhaps you might see more of her if the bosses start to hit harder, but then again, people would just use another defensive option. But she might be able to handle those content. But yeah, she deals a lot of damage herself, and so it's pretty decent in that sense. And when she first came out, just like a fun fact, she was normally used with Ella and Tonel, and then you can full auto all content easily. You should be able to do that also, but I'm not sure about the stuff like Path Not Taken in terms of getting high scores. Alright, moving on to her UE, Polyphase. Now, unfortunately, her UE isn't really the best one, at least compared to the others. It's a very defensive UE, and it's also limited to a certain number of seconds, which is pretty, it's a bit lacking in if I do say so myself. Because if you take a look here, all allies take 11% less damage for 60 seconds after entering combat, and I'm assuming at level 60, aka max level UE, the percentage of less damage taken might be around 25% less damage. So, you know, in PvP it might help, you know. But outside of that, I guess you can use it for when difficult events come. You know, it's pretty niche. For the most part, it's not as usable as others that have like a more offensive UE when it comes to most of the end game content nowadays, where it requires you to defeat the boss, you know, pretty much as fast as you can. But yeah, it's still good to get if you want to raise Metamorphoses, just to increase her stats, especially her attack, for the increased effectiveness of the rage buff, because the rage buff uses 40% of her own attack at max level 5 borrow. So, you know, in that sense, you can get it for that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this, you know, review of the rerun of Metamorphoses. I'd say she's still good. She can solo Broken Land stages if you're still needing some help in that. Outside of that, she's still pretty useful in PvP, but for the most part, in terms of her usage when it comes to PvE game modes, I would say that it has dropped, but it doesn't mean that she's a bad character. I still think she's good, but she is definitely skippable in that sense. In any case, that's it for this video. If you still got more questions regarding Metamorphoses, or like how to build on her and stuff like that, do let me know down in the comments down below. I do also have the link to my review video of Metamorphoses showing her gameplay as well, down in the pinned comment and description, so be sure to check that out. It's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.